Sherman D. Manning coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. You're on the Sherman D. Manning podcast. Wherever you are, tune in. I am the author of The Truth About O.J. Simpson, Race, Class, Money, and Justice. Get it at local bookstores or at Amazon.com. And tonight I have with me Sean Mcdevitt from Philadelphia. So Sean, say hello to everybody.
What's going on, people? How we doing tonight?
Okay, and this is a brilliant young man, probably, let me see, I want to make sure I'm being honest here, the most brilliant young man I've met in Los Angeles, California. He is an author, he's a writer, and you're going to be hearing great things coming from him in the future. What college do you attend?
I attend Temple University.
Okay, and what are you studying?
I study business marketing.
And what year student are you?
I'm a senior at Fox School of Business, Temple University, North Philadelphia.
Okay, and what are your plans after college?
My plans after college involve me either becoming a writer or inspiring. My creed is inspiration. I aim to inspire people and provoke creativity amongst everyone. Open eyes. That's what I like to do, Sherman. That's me.
Absolutely. Now tell me something about what do you think about the different teams that you were discussing earlier today, and how basically it seems to me you were saying that the political parties, two-party system, etc., is working against the American people, and everybody's being forced to align with certain teams. Elaborate on that for me.
No doubt, Sherman. So basically, my whole theory behind it is that our society has built these barriers, these teams. You're on the red team, you're on the blue team, you're on the Democratic team, you're on the Republican team, you're a conservative, you're a liberal. Right. It's all BS, in my opinion, Sherman. I think this is a society pinning us against each other so we can focus on something else instead of seeing the big picture. And what the big picture is that this political party system has us fighting each other in Congress, fighting each other, and not getting things done that we need to get done.
Do you think that's where the gridlock comes from?
Oh, no doubt. No doubt in my mind. You take a look at people having political conversations, they hear one word about the other person being a liberal or a conservative. Say you're at work, say you're at home, and the other person says, I'm liberal, I'm Democrat.
Right.
That defensive cloud comes up, and they immediately stop giving a crap what you have to say.
Absolutely.
So basically,
you become the enemy, huh?
So basically, instead of being on the same team, it's A versus B. Okay. It's 1 versus 2. There's no give or take. It's not like it was 300 years ago when George Washington and all those dudes sat down in Philadelphia and they were, hashing it out. What can I do for you? And we can compromise. No, it's anger. It's emotion. Right. People let emotions cloud their minds. People are letting, they're letting little things just completely take it away from the big picture, folks. We're all in this together, and we don't realize that.
Now explain this to me. What is emotional intelligence? You were talking about it earlier. For people who don't know what it is, what would that be?
Emotional intelligence is to be able to understand your emotions. Basically, see your emotions, accept them, and then go to the logistics. Basically saying, okay, this is how I'm feeling, this is why.
You're not what? Continue.
This is how I'm feeling. I'm gonna accept it. I'm gonna understand it, and I'm gonna not let it get in my way of how I'm logically thinking.
Right.
So people are so emotionally crazed that when someone disagrees with them, they, it's our primal instinct to see that as a sign of, attack. They're gonna get emotional. They're gonna get scared. They're gonna start they're gonna start screaming.
Okay.
They're just going to start yelling. So basically, emotional intelligence is all about taking those emotions, understanding them, and putting them aside and let your logical brain do the talking. Let yourself understand. Right. Don't let yourself get wrapped in these teams I just discussed moments ago. So that's what.
And I interrupt for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are listening, who downloaded the podcast earlier, can attest to the fact that this emotional intelligence, which Sean is speaking of now, is something I was talking about earlier when I called it clinical detachment, when I said that politicians need to be looked at not with emotions, not with anger, not with any of those things that knee-jerk reflexes. The doctor comes in with a hammer, he hits the knee and the knee jumps. That's a reflex. But with response, and response requires analytical thinking. And it's funny how I was talking about this 4 or 5 hours ago before I ever met Sean, and now here he comes and he's talking about it himself. Now I want him to elaborate just a moment, briefly about a book that he's going to be writing in the near future. And you can say that you heard it here on the Sherman D. Manning podcast, that we're going to assist him in publishing that book. And anyone who knows me and has listened to me over the years knows that when I say something, I mean exactly what I'm going to say, what I'm saying. We're going to assist him in publishing this book with all deliberate speed. So anyone listening, you look for that name. Pronounce your last name again.
Mcdevitt.
Sean Mcdevitt. What's your middle name?
Patrick.
Sean Patrick
I'm pretty
McDevitt.
Italian.
Okay.
Pretty Italian, if you could tell.
Yeah, he looks very Italian. And so I want him to elaborate as much as he wants to, or as briefly as he wants to, about the book that he's writing and the experiences that led up to him deciding to write this particular book, which involves race, etc. Tell America and the world about it.
All right, Sherman, I'll give you a little brief synopsis about the book. So basically what I'm going to go into is I'm going to basically try to pry apart these teams that we just discussed 5 minutes ago. I'm trying to put it on the map. I'm trying to get it out of our system and basically take a look at the society that we live in.
Right.
I'm trying to see, basically, and present to this world how the racial barriers, fences, walls, whatever you want to call it, how they exist in our society and how they're all BS, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
How basically we ourselves have created this racial tension that has existed for centuries, man. You talk about, the blacks being enslaved. You talk about the conquistadors, the Irish being enslaved by the English. It goes on for centuries, Sherm. And right. I'll tell you this, it's all BS. It's man-made. Mm-hmm. And once we can finally put aside the race, yeah, sure, culture comes into play always.
Right.
But we have to come together as people and realize that, we are all humane. We're all humans.
Right.
And this will lead me to a bunch of other... But in terms of I'll keep it on my book. Basically, I'm just going to try and eliminate that barrier. From a personal experience, I've, met a lot of people from, poverty. Mm-hmm. I've met a lot of people from high class. Mm-hmm. I'm from the suburbs. I've lived in the hood, Mm-hmm. But we're all in this together, and my book is probably just going to aim and try and shed some light from both sides. So that's really all I have to reveal about it right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it live here on the Sherman D. Manning podcast. This was done spontaneously and extemporaneously. We did not plan it. In fact, Sean did not even know I was going to do it. But I'm looking at the battery saver on this smartphone, and it's running low, so I've got to go. We're down to 15%. Listen, get the truth about O.J. Simpson, race, class, money, and justice. If you're watching the FX series, The People versus O.J. Simpson, you have got to get this book. Now, it's been selling like hotcakes. It's only been out for 4 weeks, but it's selling very well. You need to get that book. It's not just about O.J., it's about the no-J's. I've told you all along that the rich get richer and the poor get prison. And the criminal justice system is criminal, but there's not very much justice. Get the truth about O.J. Simpson, race, class, money, and justice at your local bookstores or get it at Amazon.com. Be sure to visit me at www.napsusa.org. That's NAPSUSA.org. Sherman D. Manning signing off for now. We'll talk to you later. Okay, let me see. Hold on here. Make sure I get everything right. Let's see. Okay.